this kit finished, new kit, concept, we already knew it, arrived. Plenty of promo, late 90s, auto glass repair, auto glass replace, beautiful. Inspired, classic, but we don't know the sponsor yet, so it's not clear what it's gonna look like, you know, in terms of the main part of the shirt, because we know that sponsor can sway the shirt massively. But I must say, loving the trim, loving the white under the armpits, but that badge and that tick, that bronze collection card match attacks, I don't know what's going on there. I'm not familiar, and I don't want to become familiar, so I feel like they've overcomplicated it there. But you let me know in the comments what you think. This is a strange one, but overall, it will do. That'll do, donkey. Yo people, welcome back to the YouTube channel. You already know what time it is. It's time for another video. Big up your damn selves in the building. Lateness is great. This is always. Let's get straight into the weekend roundup. And apologies for being on a weekend hiatus. Family, friends, festivities. We had to engage. We had to indulge. We had to get involved. But I'm back and I'm ready to discuss the Levi Colwill situation to just kick things off. I saw what happened over the weekend. I watched from afar. I saw the anarchy, the carnage, the chaos after the European Championship win, obviously against Spain. Clean sheets, all 6 games, fantastic to see. Him and Madueke representing Chelsea. And then I see the video, the Instagram live, and I admit there was not an engaged Levi. He was not engaging in the Chelsea talk. He didn't look pleased to be part of that moment that Madueke was creating. Now, some context, of course, he's just won a European Championship, so he probably wants to focus on that. Madueke, you know, he's a bubbly spirit character, and he's clearly maybe a different personality to Levi Colwill, who may be a little bit less, you know, extroverted, who knows. But he wanted to focus on the win. He didn't want to get involved in that back and forth and say anything on camera that he may go back on. And it's very important that we don't become hypocrites as a fan base, right? We don't want players to lie to us. He's not doing the proper Chelsea, you know, Chelsea, you know, I'll bleed blue until I die. I'll be here to the end of my career. I'm a living legend. You know, he's not doing the boy who had a dream thing. He's not doing that. He's not running that gimmick. He's saying to you lot, listen, I will leave this football club if I don't get game time. He's not talking about money. He's not talking about high wages. He's talking about if I don't get game time, I need to get game time somewhere else because I want to play football. That's all he's saying. And it's like people are getting angry and they're getting into a hissy fit now because, of course, they rate him now. Now, was that the case 12 months ago for a lot of these people? Absolutely not. Did they rate Levi Colwill to the point of we desperately have to keep him and I need him in my team and oh my God, all of this anarchy on the TL? Absolutely not. Every single quote, every single post now is an absolute mad reaction. No. When he was doing his thing at Huddersfield and he was showing the quality and the high potential that, you know, for people that did rate him, like myself, spoke about it last summer. So we absolutely cannot let this defender go. Not for any money. He cannot go anywhere. And obviously there was a potential that he could have left and we were chasing Nathan Ake and we were chasing Vardy and we were looking at De Ligt and we were looking at Fofana and Koulibaly and all of these defenders. Where was Levi Colwill in our thoughts? Nowhere to be found, because we were more than willing to sell for a profit because it's, you know, good on the books. Cucurella, even a potential exchange people were talking about, plus 30 million. And now suddenly now that we know he's good and now people actually know he's serious, now of course the you must play for us, you must sign, you must be proper Chelsea. You didn't have to be proper Chelsea a year ago. You didn't give a damn about you being proper Chelsea a year ago. You just wanted our money. Now suddenly you must be proper Chelsea. Let's not be hypocrites. He has not told you that he is definitely going to be your blue flag is flying high boy. He's told you he wants game time. I have no problem with a young player that believes in themselves, that thinks that they are the shit, that wants game time. Now, you cannot expect game time at our club because we have plenty of competition for places. But as long as you're giving your fair shake in that team and you are not 4th, 5th on the depth chart, you're 2nd, and potentially you pit Badiashile, you are in competition with him. You must play well when you play. If you don't, you hit bench. Simple as that. And I'm not even going to try and feed into the ego or get involved in the hype because I don't need to. I already rated the player last season. I don't need to get on board with the hype now that he's actually being talked about for England, potential call up, you know, to the senior squad. Liverpool are interested. And I have to talk about this dynamic of rival fans. A lot of people now, because Liverpool want him and Liverpool fans are absolutely begging, they are groveling on the TL. All over online, you see Liverpool fans, even in the live chat when I'm doing a stream, Liverpool fans begging, please, Levi, we need you, come to our club. Yeah? Now, Chelsea fans are like, oh no, you can't go there. No, you have to stay here. Again, because rival fans have got involved, now the ratings are starting to return or to arrive. Again, this is what happens when other fan base actually start to take a keen interest in your players and rate them, especially if you haven't seen them yet at your club. It creates a fantasy, right? Same with any big name signing that we have, any new player. A new young player that hasn't proven themselves, if they want game time, a lot of people tend to go along with that because, you know, we've paid a price, and with a price comes a responsibility and it becomes expectation. But also rivals start to say, listen, this player cannot flop or will be on your necks. So of course, in turn, you know, the mentality kicks in that they must play and they must bang, so rivals don't, you know, diss them, cuss them. But when there's nobody in the limelight, when it's just a Huddersfield alone in the Championship, and you need to be backed by your own people who are meant to be keeping an eye on you and actually giving you your fair dues and props for your development, for your rise, for your, you know, clear trajectory. No, because there is no hype around it. There is no circus around it. There is no attention. So there is no reason to give you any commitment and say, listen, actually, you're rough in the diamond. You are unearthed talent. You deserve a go. And it's constant need every summer to need to have this perfect starting 11 as well. I'm seeing it with the striker position. Every single player has to be world class so we can go and win the quadruple. Every single player has to be world class so we can stick an Excel on Twitter and the rival fans can go, wow. There can never be anybody in that team that needs trust. There can never be anybody in that team that is unpredictable to most eyes. But you know yourself, potentially there's something there. You have to be able to take those calculated risks with young players, because I'm not here to tell Levi Colwill that he should 100% believe that we're going to play him. We're going to play him now because Badiashile is injured for 4 months and Koulibaly's been sold, who we signed last summer. That's coincidence. That's fortunate. It's not due to future-proof planning. It's not due to us actually preparing for Levi Colwill. It's down to the fact that we are just fortunate that somebody wanted to buy Koulibaly and Badiashile happens to be injured. So now people actually see a pathway for Colwill, not because they believed in Colwill from the beginning. And the same applies to Ian Maatsen. Ian Maatsen smashed it at Burnley. You know, you play well, you earn your place, you'll be given a chance. That doesn't apply because we signed a left back last summer for 62 million. There is no space for Ian Maatsen, and this happens often. And you're seeing it with the strikers again. There is no trust in the Broja, who's coming off an injury, who has not played in a year, but suddenly now nobody rates him. You look at a Jackson who's just come in, again, still nobody wants to give a chance because there is an unearthed risk. There is a calculated risk at hand here. Nobody likes that. People want their golden nuggets. They want their bona fide ballers, but they're not even guarantees either. And I'm not saying your whole team has to be glittered with, you know, question marks, but you have to give a few question marks slots in the squad to prove that they can be ticks and checks. And I think, you know, when you look at how many managers we've gone through in the last few seasons, when you look at how many defenders we've signed, how much upheaval there's been, how much change in the course of the direction, or just historically at this club, but even in recent times, you'd be an idiot if you were Levi Colwill to say, yeah, I'm 100% just gonna believe that I'm gonna get my opportunity and I'm gonna play, and Pochettino, you know, even though he wants me, he's definitely not gonna be sacked in the future. You go to Liverpool because there's more than, you know, we say we want them to play for us because we're a great club, 100%. There are other great clubs as well though. Whether you like it or not, there are other great clubs. We're not the only great club out here. And I can tell you something, if you have a conversation with Klopp, it's more meaningful because you know Klopp is staying. His job is secure as it can get. Same conversation you have with Pep. Same conversation really at this point you may have with Arteta. His job is pretty secure. It's very unlikely he's going to be sacked in the near future. You can't guarantee that with a new manager who's once again just come through the door after coming off the back of 3 sacks in a season. So when a conversation even takes place between Levi Colwill and Pochettino, you have to take it with a pinch of salt because you don't even know if Pochettino's even going to be there in 18 months. You know Pep's going to be there. You know Klopp's going to be there. So that conversation holds more weight. So if he tells you that he's going to play you and that he believes in you and he trusts in you, you know that that's the case, and that is actually something that you can lean on and put weight on because the same manager will most likely be there in a couple of years' time, or at least you would assume so based on recent history of that football club. You can't say that with us. So you have to understand from the player's point of view, he has not come out and done a Mazzolini. He's just showing signs of uncertainty. And you can't blame him. He knows he's talented. This is the thing. If you're dealing with quality talent, they know they're talented. They're not stupid. Now that you know that they're talented, they definitely already knew they were talented. So now you have to understand that talent gains interest, garners interest. You have to understand that talent gets to kind of pick and choose whether or not they're going to buy into what you're telling them in terms of a plan, because they don't have to. Gallagher, I'm not sending shots, but Gallagher, he knows he's lucky to be here because he knows he's not a Levi Colwill level of talent. So he's 100% committed to bleed blue, to die for this badge and to run ragged. And you can see it with the clubs he's linked with. He's not linked with Liverpool. He's not linked with top clubs because top clubs are not going to sign him because he's not good enough, technically. But because he gives those, intangibles, and because he knows as well that he's not the most talented, he's not the most talented player to come out of Cobham, he's going to give you everything. And he's going to want to be here, even as a squad player, because he knows that he's punching. It's just facts. Levi's not going to be punching. If he leaves here, I guarantee you he goes on to play for another top club. He goes on to make the England squad. We go on to guarantee to regret it. No problem. I can guarantee that now. Postage stamp. But because I know that, and because he knows that, and because a lot of people that have been rating him for a while know that, I'm not going to get involved in the hype. I'm not going to gas him on the tier. I'm not going to call him a generational talent because I don't need to. And I don't want to. Because I know if there's an ego there, which he probably has, I don't even want to help grow that ego. If you really care about someone, what do? If they've got an ego and they're very talented, you actually try to humble them. You actually try to sit them down and calm them down. I'd rather do that. But then at the same time, I'm like, who are Chelsea to try and calm anyone down? Because we are chaos. We are the reason why people aren't calm. We have an addiction. We have multiple addictions. We have a problem. We need to see therapy. So, for me personally, listen, I think he'll stay. I think he'll be here next season. I think Liverpool fans are wasting their time. They're going to be going up against him, in my opinion, on game week 1 at Stamford Bridge. So you should be preparing how to deal with him, not actually that he'll be in your team. But am I surprised that he has taken his time and he's not trying to sell you a dream of I'm 100% proper Chelsea? He's saying, listen, I'm being very honest with you, brutally. If you don't believe in me, which you haven't previously, then I will leave. And I respect the honesty. And he's not saying it, but he's showing it in emotion. And he's also not demanding stupid. He's not demanding money. It's not about money. We don't need to give him a new contract. His contract runs out in 2026 with a trigger included. It's not about money. Every single story you hear about Levi Colwill is game time. That's all it is. And I think everybody knows he can be a starting defender in this league and do quite a good job, if not a great job. Considering where we finished last season and what we spent to finish where we finished last season, I'm not going to disagree with him. So, listen, that's my spiel on Levi Colwill. You get what you sow, a lot of people say. We create our own environments, we create our own instability, and that instability rubs off on other people around us. And in this case, players that are coming through that are not sure what the hell we're doing, and not sure whether or not we're going to stick to the plan that we're talking about right now, that we're so sure we're going to be putting together. So let's actually just understand that we are also part of the problem as a club. It's not always the player. And speaking of which, Lukaku, you are the problem. You are hopefully leaving, okay? That was another big piece of news over the weekend, is that, Inter Milan are preparing a 35 million kind of bid package. Most likely, Chelsea were asking for 40. I'm just really happy with the way we've dealt with this situation. I think what we've done here is very impressive. This is a club that were broke, that were trying to do loans with no obligations to buy, a team that were trying to sell us down the river for a fool. And we have managed to actually gain and take some respect back and put on our name and say, listen, you want this player? We're not going to keep him because we don't want him. He doesn't want to go Saudi, he doesn't want to go Juventus. But we're not just going to give him to you just because you want him and he doesn't want to be here and he wants to come to you. Lukaku, you want to go there? Make them pay. Tell them to find their money. Empty your pockets, right? Go into your wallet and find the cash. Go into your cards and find the credit. Because we are not going to just give you Lukaku on a cheap. We have already been mugged off here. You're going to pay. And if you have to sell your goalkeeper to Manchester United and funnel that money around, then you do that. So I hope we squeezed them for every penny they're worth, because they've completely taken the piss. But considering the fact that this was a purchase under the previous ownership, and his market value has absolutely just dropped through the floorboards, the fact that we've managed to pull it to a point where they're actually putting together 35 million packages, fantastic. And hopefully it hits 40. And then, I think it was 55 to break even on the amortization balance sheet. 40, I'll take it. I'll take 35. I'm weak. That's why I'm not a negotiator. I would have taken 20. I'm not going to lie to you. I would have sold him for a pack of Haribos, but that's why I'm not in that position to do that job. So fair play to the board for getting Inter Milan in this position. On Caicedo, important bid, talks, we move. I'm not even going to bother even address anymore. Fofana could be going out on loan to Union Berlin. That seems really promising. Quite happy to hear. They've obviously got Champions League football. That's a fantastic opportunity for him. He's only 20 years old and he could be playing for a team in the Champions League, in the Premier competition, if he managed to get some games there. We see it obviously on the TV. We see how he plays. So that could be a great loan. That could be coming to a conclusion. I always felt like last season this player's going on loan. I even have a feeling that this is a profit player. But, you know, at least he's getting a good loan. It seems it's a good league as well for a striker of a young age to try and kind of get some goals, get some confidence because of the open defence. And I think it's a good move, hopefully, for him. So I'm looking forward to that. And yeah, Dybala has confirmed that he's not going anywhere. He says, "I don't go anywhere," and he's not moving. He's staying. That's his own quote. And that rumour is put to bed, done and dusted, and put to the wayside. So, you know, at least no more speculation on that. And it seems like we're moving for Franca. So, you know, why do we need to go and get another potential 10 after that? Probably don't need to. So, yeah, that's nice and clarified. Now, Vlahovic, listen, I've already given my thoughts on Vlahovic. A lot of you guys disagreed in the comments, no problem. Good to see some debate, good to see some disagreement. For me, I just got PTSD, and just the way that he's kind of molded and built, I have my concerns. I know that he got goals at Fiorentina previously before Juventus. I know people feel like Allegri is stifling him. I am not even going to disagree that he is, because I think Allegri at times, I've seen him play, he is a wing back. I've seen nasty, disgusting, despicable things from Allegri over the years. So I can understand why you feel like he can be revived and regained and put back in a prominent place if he gets out of Allegri's shackles. But there's people that are looking deep into the metrics in terms of the underlying numbers, even at Fiorentina, and they're not completely sold. And for me, just the type of striker he is, there's more risk with him not working out, purely because if he isn't banging goals, what else is he actually doing? And for me personally, I just prefer to get a striker that can contribute in many facets of play, and it gives them more just bows to the arrow. It gives them more, just gives them more opportunity to actually affect the game in more than one capacity outside of just finish. And yeah, for me, listen, it's good to have a striker that thinks like a striker, but if that striker ain't scoring, then the confidence levels could be at an all-time low, because that is where their bread and butter, that is where their confidence comes from. And if they're not doing their job, then they may be finished. We've seen it countless times, but we'll see what happens. If he comes in, then I'm looking forward to hopefully having no worries, and he goes and smashes it. So we'll see what happens on that front. But we'd actually have to put in a bid. And for me, again, priority is Caicedo in the midfield. So that's my main focus right now. So hopefully that actually materializes, because we desperately need a midfielder. I think I've made that clear. I think everybody's made that clear. Until that happens, I am going to continue to shit myself, consistently throughout pre-season. So need the midfielder, and then we go from there. But listen, that's what's going on at the moment. That's my thoughts on the situation. In terms of Levi Colwill, just get your head down, focus on pre-season. That is coming. And yeah, like I said, we have him under contract until 2026. He doesn't go anywhere without our say-so. And you just have to understand that the concerns are legitimate. They're understandable. And hopefully Pochettino is able to convince him otherwise, and I'm sure he will. But then we need to actually follow through with sticking with Pochettino and giving Levi Colwill those chances to actually play well. And if he does, he sticks in the team. If he doesn't, then Badiashile is there ready to take your place, no problem. I think it's going to be a great fight between the pair. So until next time, make sure you smash up the likes. Big up your damn selves. In a bit, people. Peace.